I don't need this. Now give me a second. Inviting some folks out. So got all these devices. This one seems like say he wasn't getting a signal all of a sudden. What's the name of this? What we talking about? The topic is the side of gentrification. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I haven't been on the other side. Nope, I'm not on that right side. So let me switch that around. That makes sense why I didn't go live. Y'all know I was trying to do this live and got straight up super duper busy. Got super busy. Didn't get to send out the invites by email. So if y'all missed it, forgive me. I didn't do the email list like people be asking me to do. Been having a very exciting time, and you know, it gets exciting when people are opening up businesses or talking about asking for information about entrepreneurship. Oop. Give me a second, y'all. I got devices. I start at 7 o'clock, so I start a little earlier so we can build it up a little bit. This other phone acting weird, but we're not gonna worry about him. That one phone. Well, let's say it's the one phone. The side of gentrification. Most are not thinking of. Oh, I didn't even hit live yet. I can do it like that. Boop, 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 boop. So you acting weird, huh, homie? Let me try this. The side of gentrification. Give me a second, peeps. Side of gentrification. Most I'm not thinking of. Yeah, we're gonna talk about another side of gentrification. Yeah, no, it's like to me, it's like the same thing. Let me see if it's gonna go live. Uh-oh. What happened? Turn around phone. Yeah, I had a phone call today, phone call a week ago. A lot of phone calls from different people going through different things. And it just keep reminding me that most people not considering this. Yeah, this phone ain't even got a signal, so we're gonna leave it at that. So, you know, what a lot of people don't consider about gentrification, y'all know I wrote my book about it recently, and monetizing gentrification, building black ownership. Y'all seen that. If y'all don't already have it, y'all need to get a copy of it. Get it off my website, thomastjlofton.com. But the side of gentrification most people are not considering is so much. We're talking about high cost of living, high home cost. So today I got a phone call, and I'm gonna talk about one of many phone calls I get. When you got to think about it like this. When you're talking about gentrification, you're talking about high home costs. You're talking about things are not affordable. Houses are not affordable. Rent is not affordable. Okay, so guess what else is not affordable? You got a lot of people say, well, I own my home. I'm not worried about it. That stuff don't affect me. Gentrification is for people who don't have money. My house is paid for. I'm cool. I'm not worried about it. But a side of gentrification is when the real estate goes up, say, for example, gentrification is when new people come in with more money. They start paying more money for homes that weren't worth a quarter of the cost. So, for example, I was on the phone with someone today. They were talking about their house used to be worth $10,000. That's what they paid for it. Now it's worth $600,000. So the taxes are going up. So in situations like that, when home prices become so expensive that all across the board, the neighborhood has gotten expensive. So what comes in with expensive neighborhoods is the cost of living. So, for example, I got a phone call today from some friends, and they were just randomly talking about, they got hit with a bill, and it's gonna cost them some money because of a plumbing problem. And I'm like, okay. Now their neighborhood is being gentrified and the real estate is skyrocketing. So I'm like, okay, this is common. I'm hearing this all the time. A plumbing problem in the $1 million neighborhood is a different kind of problem than in a $10,000 neighborhood, y'all. So, for example, let's talk about that. If you live in a regular neighborhood, I know people are like, "Man, I wish we did have $10,000 neighborhoods." So let's say Atlanta, Georgia. Some people may have paid 10 grand for their houses back in the I don't know, 90s. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Then you got people who from Compton, California, who may have paid 12,000, 25,000 for their houses back in the 70s. So, now those houses worth half a million possibly. You got people who paid 100 and some thousand for their houses in View Park. Now those houses worth about a million. So what's my point? My point is when things get expensive, when gentrification is well under its way and the real estate cost starts to really boom, so does the home repairs, so does the automotive repairs, so does the products and services that come with those properties. So some friends of mine came in. They're looking at, oh, no, let me rewind the story and go back to a different story. I've been fortunate that I lived in some nice areas in my life. I've stayed in ranch neighborhoods in Palmdale. I've stayed in Palos Verdes. I've stayed in some very nice neighborhoods, Redondo Beach. I've stayed in some very nice neighborhoods all around California. So I noticed it was all good until something went wrong with my house, until I needed someone to come out and help me to do a repair, until I needed to go to an automotive shop and check on something. That's when you start seeing the racism kicks in. Now, a person who knows that you don't know is going to charge you. They're going to charge you some money. Matter of fact, let me see what's going on. King Eddie in the house. Hold on one second, y'all. Marcella, how you doing? Chico, what's going on, fam? Keith, how you doing? Beat, how you doing? Anthony, how you doing? Stephanie, how you doing? Rosie, how you doing? Mr. Perry, how you doing, family? Who we got over here? Shanette, how you doing? Who we got on YouTube? Y'all say hi. Where y'all at? What city and state y'all in, or country you in, so I can track this to see where we at, how far is the reach on this, and I appreciate if y'all can share it. So I noticed that every time something went wrong with my house back in the days, or my houses, it's just straight up by default. You got the wrong zip code, bruh. You're not gonna get away with coming over here in our neighborhood and thinking we're gonna come in there and charge you $50 to fix this problem. All the way down from hanging a ceiling fan to working on my car, I felt it. So what are we thinking about? A lot of people don't consider that. Anything that goes wrong with your house, you're gonna pay for it through the nose. That's why I said I did a post on Facebook recently. What we got here? What's up, bro? We have to hook up soon. Reach out to me, Chico. Let me know when you're ready, bro. We got a lot of people who don't think about this. We got people who will move out of town and buy these big old giant houses in these nice areas, but they're not thinking about the cost of living. What's it gonna cost you? You thinking, oh, this house is cheap. So I'm gonna go in there and get the house cheap, or I got the money because I just sold my house in LA for 600,000, and I can move to South Carolina and pick me up a big old house for 250 cash. But you in an exclusive neighborhood that's brand new, that's being gentrified, or that costs money, and they're gonna charge you for it. You're gonna get charged. I mean, you're gonna get the house cheap, but the cost to repair that house, which if you ever owned a home, you all know it's gonna be some cost. It's gonna be a leaky plumbing, some plumbing needs to be fixed. It's gonna be the roof needs to be fixed, or you just gonna want to straight up do some upgrades. You're gonna be like, man, I want some palm trees. I want a swimming pool in the backyard. I want to paint my house. I want to hang some ceiling fans. They're gonna tack it on, family, because trust me, you're gonna pay for it. So when I'm living in all of my places, I remember being so thankful that I had these life skills that I could fix stuff myself. Because so many times I would have my ex would call, hey, honey, they don't like black men, straight out, y'all. They rather deal with a black woman than a black man. I learned that very easily, very early on. When you got a black man living in a very nice area, Kevin, what's up, fam? Aaron, how you doing, fam? You're gonna have you're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna look at you funny and act funny. I noticed my neighbors, they necessarily didn't want to talk to me. They'd see me outside going to the car, watering the grass, doing anything, and they would not speak to me. But you let my daughter, my wife, or somebody like that come out, oh, quick to say hi and go speak to them. So I noticed that with the dealing with the repairs of the house. It seemed like they rather deal with the female. It was just real interesting. I don't know if I got a mean look or what, but fast forward the story, I would tell someone, I would say, hey, call the ceiling fan guy, see what he would charge to come fix this house, to come hang these ceiling fans. Call the person about the pool, get a quote on that pool. Now they would ask, are you married? And she would say, yes. And then that would make them think like, should I get over on her? But if he knows anything about anything, he's going to come and he's going to clown me. He's going to check me about getting over. You know what I mean? About charging too much. I don't know if this guy may know anything. But here's the funny part, not the funny part about that. Here's the sad part about that. Back in the days, they knew African Americans had trade, so they knew that we knew how to do things, so they would charge us kind of fair. But now we've went through decades of people going to get higher education, and now people don't want to take the trades and learn anything. So now that opens the door for a person to say, you know what? I'm gonna lay them out. Black person living in that neighborhood, on that block, and in that zip code, I'm gonna lay them out. So if it's gonna be $500, I'm gonna find a reason to tell them, oh, this is messed up, or that's really tripping, and it's not what you think it is. I know you think it's simple, but it's actually gonna cost you an additional $5,000 because this is wrong with it. And then if you really knew anything about it, you look into it and you be like, that ain't nothing wrong with that. So I've been dealing with people for quite some time. People call me on a regular basis because people know me. I'm the trade guy. I'm the guy. I know how to fix cars. I know how to build houses. So people always seem to call me and ask me these questions. And I find myself thinking, like, I charge for consultations. You know what I mean? But it pulls me in when I find out somebody's about to get screwed. They're like, TJ, this is going on and that's going on. I'm like, well, that don't make no sense. That ain't how that works. That ain't how that works. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, it ain't gonna. You don't have to do this or you don't have to do that. They trying to get over. Tell the guy to do this, this, and this. And then they go and ask the guy, and then he goes, oh wow, you're right. And I'm like, that's the standard. They knew they were supposed to do that, but they tell that person, you know what? You're the only one in the world with that on your house, or you're the only one in the world with that on your car. We thought that it was like everybody else's car, but your car is different, or your house is different. So that's why we was trying to charge you all that extra money. But I can tell you so many stories of friends of mine who lived in nice areas that got screwed. I'm driving with a friend of mine's in a Mercedes. We up in Palos Verdes in a big old nice beautiful home they got out there, and they telling me that something was wrong with the truck, but they just got it fixed. And next thing you know, we riding, and then it started doing it again. And they like, I paid to fix this, and they told me that it was fixed. Da 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 da. I'm looking at it. I'm like, the problem they told you that you said that was wrong, and what you did, that ain't got nothing to do with the repair because I'm a mechanic and I know that. That ain't got nothing to do with that. So, for example, I ain't trying to throw nobody business out there. I'm just telling a whole bunch. It's a lot of stories of people who live in very expensive neighborhoods that get screwed because they don't know. So gentrification brings in a whole lot of drama. So these are ways how they get us out of these communities because a lot of people they may have money, or then again, you got a lot of people who appear to have money, but the reality is they living off their credit cards. Anything go wrong outside of the norm, transmission go out, the roof need to be repaired, it's going straight to the credit card. Y'all hear what I'm saying? It's going to be a credit card repair. So people know and hope you got that credit card so they can hit you up for it, and they don't care. So I look at they told my friend what was wrong with the car and with the little truck, and the next thing you know, I got back to the house. I said, let me see did you got the paperwork they gave you that what was wrong with the car, what they fixed? Yeah, I got all my paperwork. So they pull it out. I'm looking at it. It's like new shocks, new struts. It was like $3,000 worth of stuff that they repaired, but did not repair the problem. I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with new shocks and struts and all of these coils. Ain't got nothing to do with your car turning off. And that's what they told me, and that's what they charged me. And I said, no, no, no. I said, trust me, that ain't got nothing to do with it. It's an electrical problem you experiencing. They didn't need to rebuild your suspension and all that stuff, new tires and all this extra stuff. And I'm like, you went in there to get this fixed here, saying that your car didn't start. It cut off in traffic, right? Yes, that's an electrical problem. I already know what's wrong with this car. Mercedes had these particular, when you're a mechanic, long as I've been, you tend to know each car has a different problem. You know what I'm saying? This car is a lemon. These cars are cool. This car has a transmission problem. That car has a light problem. This car has a problem with the driver's seat. I tend to learn all these things over the years. So fast forward the story, I knew what was wrong with the car. So when I looked at the receipt, it did not reflect what they charged her for. Fast forward the story, I end up going back up to the shop and I said, this is the problem. Fast forward the story, they end up giving the $3,000 back. Now I can tell y'all that story so many times over and over and over and over again over the decades that I've been in business, all the way down to the people. Sometimes I play dumb and act like I don't know. I love to see how people gonna treat me when they think I don't know. But then it gets tedious and it turns into a problem where you realize that they just expect you not to know anything and they gonna make you think you stupid. Or something wrong. You did something wrong, even though they was trying to get over on you, and they'll leave you hanging. So I look at a lot of people who will spend a lot of unnecessary money over the years. Man, my mind is just flowing with so many thoughts, y'all. So many thoughts about what's coming right now. So y'all know when I talk about the problem, I like to talk about the solutions, y'all. So it boils down to it. We're in a time in society that gentrification is at an all-time high. It's running crazy. And these houses are skyrocketing and they ain't got no signs of letting up. They talking about, oh, the market gonna crash. I'm like, no, it ain't. Google, Tesla, Yahoo, Belkin, Facebook, all these cats is moving to LA at least. You go to Georgia, you got all the movie companies moving to Georgia. Real estate is not going to take a major dump. Maybe on the outskirts, the far out areas, but if you got major corporations moving in your area, real estate is not going to tank, family. Or let me tell you what tank looks like. Real estate back in '06, was '06 and '07, real estate houses went from $100,000 to $500,000 in one particular area. I'm thinking about Palmdale. In a matter of 4 or 5 years, houses skyrocketed like that. I think they said that was the fastest growing city in America at the time. So all real estate across the country went up by leaps and bounds. So all of a sudden, people like, the market gonna crash. The market gonna crash. Watch the market crash, TJ. You're gonna be able to get you something for cheap. Well, remember, the houses used to be 100,000. I had a really big old giant house out there. I paid 129.9 for. It looked like a baby mansion. Everybody thought I paid $1 million for it. Had never been to Palmdale before because it was $1 million house. Fast forward the story, when the market crashed, my $100,000 house went from $100,000. I'm sorry, when the market took off, my $100,000 house went from 100,000 to $500,000. Everybody said, watch, the market gonna crash. Watch, TJ, you're gonna be feeling bad. The market gonna crash. Well, guess what? The market crashed. You know what happened? My $100,000 house that jumped to $500,000 fell down to $375,000. Y'all hear that? And it stayed at 375 to 400. And people said, I told you it was gonna crash. I told you it was gonna crash. And I'm like, so? Forget, I paid 100 for the house. 129.9, it shot up to 500. And then it dropped down to 375. That's what people missed. That's what people missed. They thinking, because most people came in and bought the houses at the $500,000. So when it dropped down to 375, they was the ones who went into foreclosure. They was the ones who was doing the short sale and had to walk away. But the seasoned owners, the people who've been there, that knew the game, no, you don't buy houses at the top of the market when you think it's fixing to crash, because you bound to lose. But that's in the suburb. I was an hour and a half away from LA. So hold on, let me drink some coconut. Y'all know. Y'all know I like the fresh raw coconut. Oh, this is the good stuff, y'all. I used to drink the coconut out the bottles until I found out where they sell the cases at, y'all. Y'all hear what I just said? Where I found out that where they sell the cases at, so I start buying them by the case now. So now I can drink them every day. But anyway, a lot of people don't understand real estate. And this is why I had to write that book. This is why I do these presentations. This is why I'm giving the webinars, because people do not understand the real estate. So if you looked at my Facebook page or my Instagram or my LinkedIn or something, you may have seen me post the other day and say, people who know the trades are going to be millionaires. Y'all hear what I just said? The people who know the trades are going to end up becoming millionaires in this economy. Due to gentrification, people who know the trades are going to end up millionaires. What does that mean? I'm going to tell y'all another story. When I was in Palmdale, that was the booming city, right? Kind of like what's going on around America. It's booming all over the country. Y'all know I'd have been to 15 states last year in 18, so I know what's going on around the country. I ain't just talking about what's going on in LA. I'm not just talking about what's going on in Palmdale or Atlanta. I'm talking about America. I've been to 15 states where Black folks live at, from New Jersey, from DC, New York, Philly, Atlanta, Arizona. I've been all over the country. Y'all know I live in California, by the way, if you don't know. People think I live in Atlanta because I'm out there so much. Anyway, fast forward the story. When I was in Palmdale back in the days, y'all know we were building houses, we were doing all kind of stuff with real estate. And what ended up happening was the market took off so fast up there because of the lack of people with trades. They didn't have any people to do the work on these houses. Taboo in the house. What's up, fam? You know, Talik, how you doing, fam? So because of the real estate took off so fast, they didn't have enough people to do the work that needed to be done. They didn't have meaning. They didn't have enough people who knew how to swing hammers, who knew how to do drywall, who knew how to frame a house, who knew how to do the plumbing. They didn't have enough of those people to do that work. So those kind of people with the trades, they paid what they was willing to pay them. Their value went through the roof. Y'all hear what I just said? When there's not enough people to do the work, and if you are one of those people that know how to do that kind of work, your value has increased by default. You ain't got to ask for a raise. You ain't got to go in there and beg for a raise. They will come looking for you. So during that economy, you had a lot of people who was rebuilding, who was doing remodels. A lot of companies were doing remodels, and a couple people was building houses, right? So all of a sudden, you had a whole bunch. Matter of fact, you had a whole bunch of people who would do kitchen remodels, kitchen and bathroom places that would do remodels. Well, those same people who know how to do the kitchen and bathroom remodels are the same people who know how to build a house from the ground up. So when the market took off, I looked at all of those guys that had those trades. They all turned around and closed their doors to the public. Why did they do that? Because they started building homes themselves. They said there's a demand for housing. They got a lot of people who looking to buy a house right now, but not enough people to build the house. So developers were stealing people's employees. They would go on other job sites and straight steal employees. They'd be like, "What's he paying you? How much he paying? Is he taking care of y'all? Yada yada yada." And man, they would just throw out a better offer. They'd be like, "Well, this guy's only building, 25 houses. We about to build 500. So you guaranteed a job for the next 2 years working with us, and we'll pay you more money. We just need you to stick with us and ride it out because we got a lot of work. Do you got any friends that's willing to go?" Man, these cats was jumping the fences, leaving these developers behind. I could always tell the progress of construction, meaning one day the houses is booming, they building like crazy, they got this house, they throwing them up. Then all of a sudden I pass by there, next thing you know, it's like, dang, what happened? They ain't did anything in the last couple of days. Somebody done stole some of their employees and now it's halting progress. So anyway, fast forward the story. I look back, all those guys' value skyrocketed through the roof. People, all that stuff about minimum wage and they ain't making much, that was a lie. These guys was pulling down 6 figures a year easily, anything they can do because they was working the heck out of them and they had plenty of work. So that went on for a season. That lasted almost about 6-7 years in Palmdale. So what's my point of bringing that up? I looked at whatever I wanted done to my house. I had to pretty much do it myself. So I was thankful that I knew how. I was thankful that I had friends that was willing to come hang out with me and help me finish my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So people always ask, how many houses did you build? I was like, I only built 12. Now I could have built a whole lot more had that boom not really been, there hadn't been enough people to do the work. Y'all hear what I just said? I could have built a whole lot more houses, but it wasn't enough people to do the work. And I wasn't trying to leave my car business to go work on houses temporarily. So here we are in that same economy again, y'all. If anybody know California, you go to Venice Beach, California. That used to be a black community. Venice Beach was one of the first gentrified neighborhoods I ever heard of because they used to have gangs out there, and I knew a lot of those cats out there. And I had friends out there. So fast forward the story. You go through that neighborhood, you can't even find none of them cats. It's like, dang, you can't. It's hard to believe it was ever a black neighborhood that you can't tell. But what are they doing in those neighborhoods, in Venice Beach, in that neighborhood? They tore down all the houses and they're building 3-story houses, y'all. So the little Walmarts, the little cheap stores that were in the area, they all got pushed out. They moved away. Now you got the high end people moving in. You got The people that got the $6,000 painting spot moved next door, the artwork guy. You got Sotheby's moving in. You know, they having auctions and stuff on regular basis. You know, I remember I was in Newport Beach over one of my homeboys' house, and I remember he was a prisoner in his own house. He said, "I said, what's that about?" He said, "I can't put my feet on the table. I can't kick it in the living room the way I want to." You know what I'm saying? I said, "Why you say that? What's the problem?" He said his wife buying all his expensive furniture. I said, "Well, why?" I said, "Well, why don't you go to McMahon Furniture and Walmart, all these different places?" He said, "TJ, this neighborhood is a $3 million neighborhood. The cheapest house in this whole area started at $1 million." He said, "They ain't gonna have nothing. They don't have stuff like that out here." He said, "I would love to go buy some $1,200 living room set. I would love to go buy a $2,800 bedroom set." He said, "But I would have to drive down closer to you to get stuff like that. They don't sell that kind of cheap stuff out here." He said the end table be 6,000, the bedroom set be 32,000, and all of that kind of stuff. I was like, wow. So I'm having flashbacks and thoughts now of thinking about all that kind of stuff. What does that mean? Those same kind of people are selling those $1 million houses. Well, not like him, not him, for example, not that kind of people, but the people whose houses that they bought back in the days for, you know, $300,000, and now all of a sudden they shot up to $1 million because they was pretty close to Beverly Hills or something like that. What they got, like Beverly Glen and all these areas and stuff. They houses got very expensive. So now they're selling their houses for $1.5 million, 2 or 3 million, and then they coming down here to LA, and they're coming down from out the in Georgia, for example, and then they're spending big money. They're coming from DC into Maryland, into Oxon Hill, Maryland, PG County, if y'all know familiar with the areas, North Carolina. You know, they coming from those higher end areas with a whole lot of money. Or even better yet, they're coming from California to Georgia, or to Arizona, to all these states, and they're bringing a whole lot of money, you know, and all of a sudden they spending money and the prices is going up. Man, I got so many thoughts going through my head. But yeah, they're spending so much money, and it's just pushing the cost of everything up, y'all. So it's not just about expensive houses. It's not just about expensive cars. It's about people. Bree, how you doing, fam? It's about people who can do the work. Jackpot, Compton, how you doing? Compton Gutter, Lemon, how you doing? You know, so it's a lot of things that go on with gentrification that most people don't know about. And what I've been seeing is, you know, people are losing houses based on they couldn't afford to do a repair. People are losing their cars. That's making them lose their houses because they couldn't afford to do a repair on their car. You know, they think that was, hey, Bree, they think that, you know, hey, they just bought this car. This car only got 12,000 miles on it. And you know what I'm saying? So they pay cash for it because they didn't want to have no bill. And then all of a sudden something makes a little noise, and they go to the dealer to see what's wrong with it. And he tells them, oh, the transmission's going out. You're like, wow, this car only got 12,000 miles on it. Then he tells you, well, you know, it was a used car and you didn't get that extended warranty. Next thing you know, it's like, oh man, it's gonna be $3,500. Well, they like thinking, well, they just got through fixing up their house. They ain't got an extra 3,500, so they want to put it on the credit card. And even on the credit card, now they got to make a bigger payment. So they can't afford to pay for that 3,500. Next thing you know, they end up losing the car, letting the car go, or sitting in their driveway. Y'all, I love finding cars sitting in people's driveway. I love seeing cars sitting on side of people's houses. Always asking, what's wrong with their car? And it turned out to be nothing. But it's major to them, so that's why it's sitting on side of the house. But I get it. Next thing you know, it ain't really nothing, and I fix it and drive it and sell it. But people will lose their car, which will enable them from being able to get to work, y'all. And then the next thing you know, they starting to have problems. They fall behind. Next thing you know, it's like, okay, now they're in foreclosure. You know, next thing you know, now they're behind on their rent or whatever it is. But I'm saying gentrification happening in all different aspects. So what was my point earlier? I was talking about solutions, right? So what I see that's going on all around the country is People are losing because they can't do simple repairs themselves. Someone said the other day that their battery was dead. My friend was telling me they was at a place for me doing something, and they said next door to the spot they were, somebody's car wouldn't start. It was a European lady, and their car wouldn't start, but they knew that it was the battery. You know, they waited for the AAA to come out and tell them, oh, you just need a jump. Your battery needs to be charged. And they was like, oh, wow, that's what it was. I didn't know. Well, I'm thinking that if that was an African American, they would have said, oh, you need a new battery. They would have sold them a brand new battery. They said, you left your lights on and you drained your battery when you went into the place. They told the European that, but the African American, they wouldn't tell them that. They'd be like, look, you need a new battery. It's going to be $135. CEO, TCE. What's going on, fam? Jackpot. You know, so it's a lot of things. So people think it's just about the houses, but it's about living period out here. You know, the schools. The cost to go to these schools can be crazy. But I remember in Palos Verdes, that was one of the #1 schools in the country. You know, at least in California, these young people was coming home with different languages. My friends' children was speaking 3 different languages, and they was like 10. You know, so they're doing a lot of things to keep us out of these neighborhoods, y'all. You know, they're doing a lot of things to keep us out of these neighborhoods. So my thoughts is, that's right, Jarrell. How you doing, fam? Solutions are the keys. So because they're doing a lot of things to keep us out of these neighborhoods, the key is to learn how to do things for yourself. So yes, your children coming home with a doctorate, your children coming home with a master's, but they need to have common knowledge of how to test their car. Is the battery low or do it need to be replaced? What is that noise? Okay, well, why is the tire pulling to the left? Oh, well, you need a wheel alignment. You need a new tire. You don't want to totally depend on somebody to tell you something that you could have learned in high school. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to find out that okay, well, your sink stopped up, and then you're gonna get laid out and pay somebody a gang of money and end up falling behind on your house because you didn't have the common knowledge to know that under the sink it's some plastic pipes that you can unscrew and drain and take the hair out because it's either some hair or some potato peelings that got stuck in it or something that clogged it up. And you didn't know that you could do that. So because you ain't never had common knowledge of a trade. That's what's hurting Americans. That's what's hurting African Americans. But that's what's going to also save us, y'all. Because as I did my research when I traveled around the country, it was a large number of people that fell behind and lost their houses to gentrification purely based on the fact that they had a fence. And I talk about that in my book, matter of fact. This is what I want y'all to know. I'll be talking about these things in my book because of my research. You know, people are losing their houses because of home repairs. They couldn't afford to fix this on the house, and the fence started falling down. The door got loose. The door locks was all messed up because they didn't know to tighten it. They didn't know how to tighten a screw. The ceiling fan, the house got too hot because the ceiling fan was messing up and it needed to tighten some screws, but they didn't know that. They didn't know how to get up there, so they just stopped using the ceiling fan, which made the house too hot. And then all of a sudden, they just can't wait to just somebody to come buy them out. You know, so you start adding all those repairs up, and it goes to why they want to sell the house. Why did you sell your house? I would always ask people, why did you let that house go? You know that house is in a $1 million neighborhood. Well, that house was too raggedy. Why was it raggedy? Well, I couldn't keep up with the repairs. What you mean you couldn't keep up with the repairs? Oh, every time somebody came out, they always try to charge me. No, she's a single woman, or he don't know nothing about this kind of stuff. So after a while, it just started adding up, and they just said, you know what? They can't afford to fix all this stuff. They just gonna let it go. They gonna let it go and just take the little money. So now what happens is, let me tell y'all how this goes. So if I'm in this neighborhood, if we in this neighborhood, and it's $1 million neighborhood, straight across the table, everybody's houses should minimum be getting $1 million. because Mr. Person over here or Miss Person over here who couldn't afford to keep their property up, all of a sudden that pulls down the property value. Every time they take less money, it pulls the property values down for the rest of the neighbors, y'all. So if you getting $1 million, if I'm over here and my house is in tip-top shape and I'm about to get $1 million, right? Then all of a sudden you look up, 3 neighbors' houses just sold fast. He sold for $375, $425, and $500, and they got the same kind of house I got. They houses was raggedy. My houses was in top condition. So all of a sudden, I don't even want to use myself in that example, but all of a sudden, you know what ends up happening? Because they took less money, those 3 houses that closed escrow at cheap prices, below the million, less than $500,000, that pulls the price down of the bigger houses. That pulls the price down of the houses that are in tip-top shape. Y'all hear what I just said? So, what you say, Jarrell? What's going on? I'll fix it up. Code violations. There you go. Henrietta, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Jarrell that's my partner right there. He's a contractor. He knows what I'm saying. He'll fix it up. He's making money. You doing pretty good out there in SAC doing your thing, Mr. Jarrell, with your construction stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, people don't realize that when you don't maintain your house, you pull property values down. When you decide to bail out, you're going to hurt the rest of the community. So I remember when I was in Palos Verdes up there living back in the days, and I remember one of the neighbors was having problems when the mortgages had went bad in 07, 08, and the neighbors was having problems, and the neighbors was about to lose their houses because all of these cats in PV took them loans too. They started taking them loans too. Overload. Oh, you overload. You got a lot going on. I love it. Good problem to have. Time to start training some people how to do that, fam. Teach these young people how to do the trades. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward the story. I'm looking at some of the neighbors had took the bad loans. So y'all know back then I had the mortgage license and the real estate license, the mortgage company, and I was doing the most back then. That's why I know a lot about this kind of stuff. So fast forward the story, I'm looking at one of my Jewish neighbors, and he said something that forever changed my life, y'all. He said, TJ, he would always come ask me mortgage questions. He would always come ask me real estate questions, and I was coaching him on that, right? And I said, what's going on? He said, yeah, the neighbors are about to lose their houses. I said, who? He said, this people on the corner and the people right there. And I said, okay, well, so? He said, so? That's going to bring my property value down. So you know what he did? He turned around and took it upon himself to file a lawsuit against their bank. He found out who their banks were, and he sued them and threatened them. You better not come over here and foreclose on these houses. You better work with them. So that set the precedence. So now you got a bunch of people who can't afford to pay their mortgages in a rich, wealthy neighborhood, but one person filed a lawsuit against their banks, and the banks were scared to foreclose. So that opened the door where a lot of homeowners said, you know what? They were struggling and they couldn't afford to pay either. So they was walking away. Palos Verdes had a large amount of vacant houses, family. Y'all hear what I did? See, this is why I'm able to write this book. This is why I was able to write this book, because I know I put a lot of these games in there that I've seen over the years. When that dude, I said, you filed a lawsuit against the bank to stop them from foreclosing on these people's homes. He said, yes. I said, why? He said, because that's going to pull all of our property values down. I ain't going nowhere, TJ. I love this area. I'm going to stay here. I don't want my house is worth this much money. I don't want it going down to be less than that. So I'm going to file a lawsuit. I'm thinking in my mind, why don't you just help the people catch up? And that's when he exposed to me. I'm thinking, okay, you're going to come out about 15, 20,000 to file these lawsuits, 30,000, whatever, for multiple houses. Why don't you just pay their mortgages or something? Help them out with their mortgage, help them catch up. He said, no, TJ, they got these bad loans. And it's going to destabilize. White folks love it. They use the right words. It's going to destabilize my area, this area. My house, your house, everybody's house is going to have a problem. I was like, wow, that was profound, family. That was profound. So I looked up. Now, I'm really watching the real estate out there now. And when he told me, he said, TJ, there was too many people that houses in Palos Verdes and Rolling Hills and Redondo Beach, that the houses skyrocketed, went from 600,000 and 700,000 to 2 and 3 million overnight, y'all. So you got people who wasn't going to sell, but they sure pulled that money out their houses. They were like, man, I got $2 million in equity. I'm pulling the loan out. I'm tapping into that money. So what we looking at, oh, wow, we only got $500,000 in equity in these houses. We got our $1 million. These cats up in the hills was pulling up $2 million in equity because their houses went from 500,000 to 2 million or 3 million. Believe that. Anything on top of the hill with ocean views and 360 degrees almost views, was it more like 270, depending on how high up they were, depending on how big their lots was. These houses was like $3 million houses. And I was like, wow, blew me away. And they was pulling that money out. And my neighbor told me, he said, TJ, a lot of people pulled the money out and they got these bad loans. And now the mortgages are going up higher than what they thought. And that's why he was asking me all these questions. But I was like, yeah, I'm thinking, they shouldn't have pulled it. Now they're going to lose it, but at least they got the money. He's like, no, I'm not going nowhere. I didn't need the money. He said, I didn't need the money, so I didn't pull it. So I'm not going to let them tear down my whole neighborhood. So he filed a lawsuit on their behalf. So I was just thinking to myself, what if we did stuff like that? What if we stepped up to the plate and helped each other? You know what I'm saying? His son goes to jail and we turned around and paid to get him an attorney so he wouldn't have to take a deal. So that wouldn't open the door up for them to keep coming over here arresting our youth. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Oh, I can go in and keep going in on all these topics, but it's just a lot of stuff about gentrification, family, that we don't think about. So we got to start getting involved. You got to quit saying, well, they ain't got nothing to do with me and that's on them. I got my shit together. Ain't nobody told them to do that. See, it's because it's a lot of things that you're not factoring in, family. So solutions. We got to get involved. Just like all the other races are. They getting involved. When you do something to one of them, you do something to all of them. It's going to be a problem. When you messing with one of them, it's going to be a problem because you like messing with all of them. But in our community, it seems like you got to be affiliated with somebody for people to get involved. It's like, okay, well, they should know that if they mess with such and such, you got to mess with all of them. Just like what I like about my lowriding family. I hope I ain't throwing nobody out there, but the truth is the truth. When I had my lowrider and all that, and I was with my people, when we will be driving, I noticed when the police try to stop one person, they knew better because they knew. It said, we try to pull him over. It's like pulling over 50 cars because all of them going to stop. And they all going to come over there and ask, what's up? Why are we writing a ticket? Why are we messing with him? So they don't want to be bothered with lowrider guys. That's why they hate lowriders so much, because of the unity. When they mess with motorcycle clubs, you stop one of them, you stopping all of them. So they know not to stop them. Y'all hear what I just said? So it should be the same way with the way they deal with us. If you're thinking about foreclosing on one person's house, that means you about to try to come after the rest of us. So we going to come together and file lawsuits to stop you from doing what you're doing. And they going to think he ain't even got a house, but he ain't got a house in foreclosure. He's not behind on his mortgage, but yet he's suing us. Matter of fact, his house is paid off. Why is he suing us? They say, oh, they understand the game, that he's bringing the property values down. You're going to bring the property value down, and it's going to affect him as well as them. So it's not about them, it's about us. So we got to start doing that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that we can do, family, that we can fix things in our community and help out. And it starts with us coming together more. Now, see, I've experienced things like that because I know how it works. I had my lowrider shop. When one of my partners had lowrider shops and they started having problems, I would step in because I knew if something happened to them, I didn't want to be the only lowrider shop, y'all. I couldn't afford to be the only lowrider shop, and then they be harassing me. So I had to make sure my homeboy stayed in business because I didn't want all eyes on me. So I was always in these cats' business. Okay, well, you got your insurance, you paid your insurance, right? You did this, you did that, you cleaned up outside your building. You ain't got nothing parked outside on the street where the police gonna want to harass you, right? Oh no, I ain't doing nothing. I'm cool. I fixed all that. Yeah, okay. So I'm looking at they like I'm the shop police. Here come TJ. They like, oh man, pick up all them oily rags because we don't want the EPA coming up in here. We don't want the city coming up in here finding nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, pick up that. Don't be leaving oil on the ground and all that. They looking at me like, you own all these shops, don't you? I was like, no, these are my homeboy. I'm trying to make sure these cats stay in business. Same thing happened when I started messing with the real estate. I would get in people's business. But here's another good solution that we got to start doing. People looked at me over the years, they thought I was just racist, right? Because when I would go buy cars, when I would go pay for stuff, I would be asking them, when I go to the car dealer and buy a car, I'd be like, y'all got a black salesperson? And I'd be like, huh? I can sell you a car. I'd be like, do you have a black salesperson that work here that can sell me this car? I'm ready to buy a car right now. They'd be like, oh, did you get it pre-approved? I said, I got cash. They'd be like, oh, I'm looking to buy a car right now. And I want to know that you have a black salesperson because I'm looking to spend my money with the black salesperson so I can keep money in my community. They look at you stupid when you say stuff like that. When black people say stuff like that, they look at you stupid. But here's the thing about that. When an Asian come in there, Asians is like, they won't even talk to you. They're going to look around for Asian. They don't see Asian, they leaving. So what was crazy that I noticed, Asians will walk into Toyota. A Japanese will walk into a Japanese company called Toyota and say they want that same Toyota Camry right there, the black on black, but I want to order it from Japan. Y'all hear what I just said? I want to order it from Japan. Why do you want to order it from Japan? Because I want one that only my people benefited from. I want to make sure my people benefited from it. So I want one that came from Japan. But we got one right here in stock. We'll give you a better deal on it. We won't be able to have one from Japan for at least a couple of months. They'd be like, so what? How much is it? I'm going to pay for it. And when it's ready, y'all call me. That's how cold the Japanese are, y'all. They'd be like, let me know when it's ready. I want to order one from Japan. I don't want the one that's coming from here, from America, that's made in Michigan, and they got the black people working there, and they got the white people working there. I don't want that one. I want the one that comes from my country that my people made money off of, and I want to make sure my people in my country keep eating. So if I keep buying from the one in Michigan, you never know what's going to happen one day. Maybe they may end up closing down the one in Japan because they're making more money off the one in Michigan. So I'm not going to support the one in Michigan. I want my car to come from my country, Japan. So here's my money. Call me when it's here. You say it's going to be 3 months. Actually, that's fine. No problem. That's what we got to do, y'all. Solutions. When I go into finance department, if I get a loan, when I go into the finance department, when I go in there and I was buying cars, I was hitting them hard. I was like, it's not just about the black salesperson family. It's about the black finance person. When you're going to go in there and get a loan, you're going to sit down to that finance table, and that's where they're going to screw you right there dealing with financing, y'all. So I want a black person. I want them to have some type of consciousness to say, look, dude, this is for me and this is for my daughter, man. You know what I'm saying? I want her to make this mortgage, these car payments on her own. So I want to make sure she get the best interest rate. And I'm going to look him in his eye. Do you got a daughter? And then they look at me like, yeah, I got 2. So now they program knowing I would hate for somebody to come screw my daughter over. So let me take care of this young person. So that's why when I walk into a finance, I'm going to ask them, do y'all got black people financing in the finance department? They'd be like, oh, well, she won't be in until Friday. I'll be like, okay, I'll be back. They'd be like, what? You sure? I'll be like, yeah, I'll give you a good deal today, though. The sale is over on Thursday. The day before she come back, the sale's over. So right now, you better get it today because the sale is going to be on. It's 50% off today. I'll be like, no, I'll be back Monday. I'll be back Friday when the black finance person is there and the black realtor's there. Y'all hear what I just said? They'd be like, they'd hate that, family, because they make so much money off of us. because we don't know. They know that black folks don't care. They just gonna buy. They more concerned about getting the car. They more concerned about getting the house. They can care less who sell it to them, long as they get it. But we got to get out of that. We got to pick up these habits of these foreigners and go in there like, hey, y'all got any black African American people work here? And I ain't talking about the janitor. I'm talking about in the sales department. I'm talking about in the finance department. I want to make sure that my money goes back into my community. So I prefer to buy from a black dealer. Do y'all know of a black dealership that I can buy my Toyota from? I would ask them stuff like that. Y'all, they couldn't stand me. I'd be like, do y'all know where a black dealer is that sells to a black? Do y'all got a black Toyota dealership? I would call the 800 number corporate and they get mad. What's your zip code? What area? Well, we got two dealers right by you. That's 2 miles from your house. I'd be like, are they African American owned? And they'd be like, oh, well, I don't really know that answer to that question, sir. And it's like, why not? You can't tell me. So they don't want us to do that. They don't want us to do that, fam. They don't want us asking. They don't want us shopping black. Y'all hear what I just said? If I found out that there was a black Toyota dealer or a black whatever it was kind of dealer that a car I had, and it was 5 hours away, I would send my tow truck to go get it. You know what I'm saying? I would ride out there and go get it because that's how I roll. I'm a black business owner, so I know the importance of what it say. We buying black. You know, I got my shirt on today. Y'all see I'm representing. Y'all support these people. My brother on there talking about an all black grocery store with black supply. Man, I just haven't had a shirt on today. I'm proud of my young brother. Black grocery store with black supply with black vendors in it. Y'all know I'm trying to figure out what can I get in that grocery store to sell. Teresa, how you doing, fam? What can I sell in that grocery store? Y'all mind sharing this video? If you're on YouTube, please share the video and please subscribe for me. And what city and state y'all calling from? What state you in? Let me pay some bills real quick, family. Monetizing Gentrification, the book, $31.95 to your door. You can go to my website, thomastjlofton.com, and pick up a copy of this book, or pick up 100 copies. Pick up 10 copies or something for your barbershop, for your beauty salon, for your school, for your think tank, for your community room. You know, people need this book, y'all. It's a lot of good information I put in there, breaking things down about what's going on around the country. Henrietta, what's going on? I shop at the grocery outlet in Compton. Okay, you know what? Let's talk about that. You brought it up, Miss Henrietta. Yep, it's black owned. They said it's black owned. Okay, that's cool. You know, they say black people own it. I'm cool with that. I'd rather go to a business that they own. But my thing is, I encourage people, let's start our own business. Let's start our own grocery stores, like the We Buy Black people. They buy in the building right now, and they reaching out to all the black people who are making things. And if you don't make it, they're saying, please make it for us. Find something. They don't want to just deal with one person that make the black toothpaste. They want to deal with a bunch of people. So I appreciate you, Henrietta, for shopping at the one in Compton, the black one in Compton. And I appreciate them for opening up one. But now I need them to learn the game. Learn the game of running a grocery store, because it is more than the notion, family. It is more than the notion to own a grocery store. And I love it. I appreciate them, y'all. I love it. So let me break down owning the grocery store. You got a lot of things. You got to make sure everything stays in stock. You got to make sure everything is fresh. You got to make sure that they ain't screwing over us and selling us bad food. Y'all hear what I just said? You got to make sure the food ain't poison. So sometimes what I see is, okay, so like the grocery outlet, think about it. It's an outlet. They're not going to have the same things in there every Friday when you go, because an outlet, they sell things like, for example, they may get an abundance of coconuts, hypothetically speaking, and they may pick up 1 million coconuts. So they turn around and buy them, and boom, a week later, they all sold out. And you go in there, hey, I want to buy a few more of those cases of coconut. They be like, oh, they all gone. We don't know when we'll have any more. Can you order me some? Like, we don't know when we're going to get any more. Okay, that's cool. But so what am I saying? That tells you that they're just buying things in deals. It's an outlet, things that other people couldn't sell. love my coconuts. So during this, how is this the setup? You buying used stuff, things that other people couldn't sell or things that they got for a deal, and they take it and put it and sell it in a grocery store. Today is what, Tuesday? I must be hearing lightning outside. I'm like, it's either trash cans being drug out to the street or that's lightning, and it ain't even trash day, so that must be lightning. Oh, pay the bills. I'm gonna get back to that, Miss Henrietta. I'm having a webinar coming up on November. I didn't say November. I said March the 14th. I got a monetizing gentrification. Oh man, the Instagram just started, wants to start over. Hold on. Y'all hear that lightning? They said that the storm was coming. No, the 99-cent store does that too, but so does the grocery outlet. Think about it, Miss Henrietta. It's an outlet. But anyway, I have on March the 14th, I'm having a webinar coming up on monetizing gentrification. A lot of people all around the country. I've been to I did the presentation in 15 states, but there are states that I have not done it in yet. And I've been having people over the years reach out to me asking me, when am I going to do, go online with more of my products. So I just created a webinar of the presentation that I'm giving on this Friday. In fact, this Friday I'll be at the FIBA Center in Los Angeles, California, on Crenshaw and Slauson, off of Slauson, and it's only $30 at the door. But the webinar will be on March the 14th. You can go to my website, thomastjlofton.com, or you can go to my Facebook page. Yeah, go to Facebook page and it's on there. And you'll see the webinar, Monetizing Gentrification webinar. It's about me traveling all around the country. And ooh, that thunder kicking. It sounds like I'm in Atlanta or something. When I'm in Atlanta, that's normal to have all that rumble dumble and boom, 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 and all of that crazy stuff. That weather's no joke on the East Coast, y'all. I love California. when I go on the East Coast, it makes me realize just how much I love California. But anyway, y'all, I traveled around the country. I've seen what's going on with gentrification. I created a lot of solutions. I've seen what situations that's happening in our communities. And we got a lot of crazy stuff happening, all purely based on very simple information that's I know. And that's why I had to put it in a presentation so that I could teach to my family. That's why I had to put it in a book. I had to talk about what's going on with real estate from a national perspective all around America, family, because I wanted people to save their houses. I realized there is an attack on Black home ownership. Y'all hear what I just said? There is an attack on Black home ownership. They are removing home ownership from African Americans all around America, straight out. They do not want African Americans owning real estate, so they are taking people's houses all around the country. Z, how you doing? I haven't been to Indiana yet. I just got invited to go to Chicago. Kayla, how you doing? I just got invited to go to Chicago. There's a couple events. There's some stuff coming up, but I was told Indiana is close to Chicago. So that's what I'm going to work on this year. And I'm going to start trying to go to all those states that I haven't been to yet. I've been to 15 states in 18. New York, Philly. I don't even think I'm going to try to name them off. But I put all of them. I talked about all of them in this book, family, because in this book, I had to write about solutions because people are having things that's difficult to most people is very common sense to me because, real estate is my hobby. That's my heart. That's all I really think about and care about is real estate and business. That's why that's all you really hear me talking about. I don't talk about a lot of other platforms because I want to talk about things that I'm very well versed in. And I see that real estate is a major issue going on around the country right now. So I've been talking about it. But long story short, I created that webinars for March the 14th. Let me make sure. Monetizing gentrification. I just shared it on Facebook. It's under the platform that says Zoom. So family, it's $49. You can sit in the comfort of your own home. It's going to be 7 p.m. Pacific, no, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's an hour and a half. So I'm going to talk about real estate from a national perspective, and I'm going to throw out some major solutions, some major investments. I'm going to tell you what's going on and how they're getting over on people. So I'm gonna make a quick example of things that I talk about in the book that people need to know about. Or this is something I newly realized that I've been noticing lately that I'm hearing people, and they bamboozling people. You will always hear people talking about homelessness. Uh-oh. I had to call this brother back. You will always hear people talking about homelessness in in LA or around the country. They say we need to build more houses because of homelessness, right? We got too many homeless people, so we need to build more affordable housing so that the homeless people can have a place to live. That is a bamboozle, family. That is a bamboozle. I know a lot of y'all thinking like, no, they building houses, TJ. They gonna help the homeless. First of all, they're not trying to help the homeless. Building affordable housing. They are not building no affordable housing. How about we got thousands, if not millions, of homes around the country that are vacant? Y'all hear what I just said? We have thousands, if not millions, of homes around America that are vacant, that people have foreclosed. The banks have foreclosed on and took them from the homeowners, and they're sitting vacant. I was told that back in the days, there was enough vacant homes in America that they can give every homeless person 3 houses to themselves. Y'all hear what I just said? So when people come out to you and start saying we're going to end homelessness by building more affordable housing, that is some BS right there. Y'all hear what I just said? When people say we're going to help the homeless, wow. Yes, I am. When they say we're going to build affordable homes, affordable housing, so that we can help the homeless, to end the homelessness, in order to save people's lives that are homeless, we need to build more housing. That is an excuse to build houses. First of all, houses, the more houses you build, the more you pushing gentrification, because they will never, if you got to look at it, what is the housing price going for? If the housing price is at $500,000, they're going to build brand new houses. They're going to put them on the market at 600 or 650. If the houses is going for 700, they're going to put houses on the market at 850, 900 or $1 million. So what does affordable look like? Affordable housing could be $1 million in $1.5 million neighborhood. Y'all hear what I just said? Affordable housing in Georgia could be 500 in a $700,000 neighborhood. But who can afford to pay $500,000 in a neighborhood like that? You got to think about that. So in LA, when they say, oh, we're going to build affordable housing, they're going to build some houses that's going to cost about $900,000, $1 million. So when you tell people, now keep in mind, I built houses, so I know how the game works, family. The more houses they build, the more the prices of real estate goes up, period. End of story. So here's the thing. We got so many vacant houses all over the country that are just sitting, boarded up. Y'all hear what I just said? So if we're going to help the homeless, we need to restore those houses and put them in those houses, period. Period. We need to put the homeless people in those houses that are boarded up. So let's turn around and go and restore those houses that they just gentrified and foreclosed upon on those families. So these are the tricks of how they bamboozle people, y'all. You think oh yeah, we need affordable housing so we can help the homeless. No, that ain't how that works. That ain't how that works. Now, the only thing I saw in LA when they said we're going to save the veterans and build some affordable housing, you know what they did? They built a big old apartment building with a whole bunch of 1-bedroom apartments in it. Y'all hear what I just said? A whole bunch of 1-bedroom apartments. I ain't never seen nothing like that. Normally, apartment buildings come with 1s, 2s, and 3s. This one had all 1 bedroom. So they're giving homeless veterans, 1-bedroom apartments, very small. Very small. That was the only thing I seen that was that was for homeless. But they'd be like 50 units, 75, 110 units. All of them be 1 bedrooms. So anyway, family, when you hear people using the word talking about affordable housing for the homeless, you always need to check them and say, what about all these foreclosures? Can't we just put them in the foreclosures? Can't we put those houses instead of going out? It costs more money to build a house brand new than it's going to cost them to go in there and slap some paint on the wall to the house they just foreclosed on and took from those people. Y'all hear what I just said? We got to think about that. So I kind of debunk a lot of things in my book, and I talk about solutions. So Henrietta, getting back to the where we were talking about the Black-owned grocery store. You know, I like Black-owned grocery stores that come from a Black-owned franchise. Like I support the We Buy Black-owned grocery store, right? I support that because he came in using all the right words. What did he say? It's Black-owned, it's Black operated, and it's stocked with Black-owned products. Y'all hear what I just said? It's Black-owned business. It's got Black employees in there working, and it's stocked with Black products. So, like for example, TJ's book is going to be on the shelves in the house in the book section. Y'all hear what I just said? That's a Black product that is in the Black store that's going to be sold by Black people. So when you go to the grocery outlet and I look in there, I see all kind of food that's poison. That's not even real food. That's designed to hurt Black people. Straight out. I know y'all been reading my page because I share all this stuff on my page. They talking about, oh, ground beef got human DNA in it, meaning some of them missing people that's missing, y'all probably ate them and didn't even know it when you went to McDonald's, because McDonald's is buying bodies of dead people and grinding it up and using it to make burgers with. Y'all hear what I just said? I know that's crazy and sound like some crap off of TV or off of the movies, but that's a fact. It's all on. They exposing this stuff left and right. All these major corporations that got a commercial on TV ain't selling real food. All these major grocery stores ain't selling real food. In fact, if it's in the Black community, put it like this. Let me rephrase it. Let me bring this back. When I was growing up in Compton, my mom would buy us milk, which we shouldn't even been drinking milk anyway. That's a whole nother conversation. And that milk would expire in a week, so we had to hurry up and drink it. So growing up, I was under the impression that milk expired in a week, hypothetically speaking. Maybe it was a week and a half, 2 weeks. But I knew growing up, milk expired very quick, right? So all of a sudden, I get old enough and I start having a little money, and I moved out far, and I bought me a big old nice home, and I start in a white neighborhood, and I start going to the grocery stores in the white neighborhood. Milk lasts the whole month probably before it expired. I was like, wow, they done fixed the milk problem. They done got some new technology out here. But they said, no, TJ, they sell bad food in the Black communities. I learned that years ago. So to buy into a white corporation, the grocery outlet, and I'm not blasting the sister, y'all. I'm just saying we can do better, family. We got to understand what's going on. That's why I encourage people, don't buy into no corporation that's not Black owned. Create one that's Black owned, period. That's why you didn't see me promoting it and going live. Oh, it's a Black sister over there. Because I already know what's going on. So let me talk about that. I'm going to go a little deeper in on that. So we have a lot of people that make stuff specifically for us to wipe us out as a people, to homosexualize African-American men. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So I know y'all heard they say grits. Oh, they put all kind of female hormones in the grits. So now they know Black people eat grits. So what's happening? Black people are becoming feminized because they're eating grits. So I know y'all been hearing about that. So when you are at a supply house, these places come from supply stores. Every grocery store has a supplying warehouse that they pull from. So they will say, the food on this cart is going to Beverly Hills. Then they will come, okay, pull all this good stuff over here. and put it on that truck right there. That one's going to Beverly Hills. Okay, well, this one is going to Compton. Okay, well, go over here to the expired rack, the stuff that we were getting ready to throw away, and load it up and send that to the black grocery store in Compton. Give them that milk that's about to expire in a month. In fact, go pour some more blood on that meat and air it out and make it look fresher and send them that bad meat that we were about to throw away. Dita, how you doing, fam? Steph, what's going on? So they do things like that, y'all. They do things like that, and that's what we have to pay attention to, family. So when I say I did not get excited when I heard about the sisters gonna buy the sister bought the black grocery store. No, I didn't get excited because I knew she was going. I ain't trying to talk bad about my sister, but I'm saying I knew that she's going to be selling bad products that we don't make. But let me give y'all a spin to that. This is a solution to everything. Everything to every problem. We always gonna have a solution. So what is my solutions? I like black grocery stores because, like I said, the brother got a black grocery store they starting. They got a black grocery store they starting, and they making black products, and they being sold by black people. I mean, yeah, being sold by black people. So this book right, ooh, excuse me, in my book, you don't see this. It ain't on Amazon. It ain't in none of them other white stores. You know why? Because it says building black ownership. Well, it ain't on Amazon because I ain't put it on Amazon. I want my black people to have the opportunity to sell it first. So you see this say building black ownership. This book was made to help black people so we can build black ownership. That's what I talk about. Business ownership and real estate ownership, strategies and solutions to things that we need to know about before we go out and make major purchases, before we go out and make major decisions. Read this book about what's going on around the country, and this is what you're going to know about. So this book was made by black men, me, with black people in mind, with our best interests in mind. So when my brother finished his grocery store, like you look, matter of fact, it's on the We Buy Black website. It's on the We Buy Black website, fam. You see what I'm saying? So this book was made with black people for its best interests to make sure we be okay. Name, how you doing, family? Hope I pronounce it right. Naeem. You know, so when I look at, okay, so taking it to the next level of solutions, and what I like about having a black grocery store, let me go back to the other grocery store. When I saw the family that bought the black grocery, that bought the grocery store in Compton, I asked them, I said, what do we got to do to put black products? Like, what do I got to do to put my book on the shelf in there? What do I got to do? Can I just talk to you and you put it on the shelf and I start making money? No, you got to talk to corporate. You got to talk to corporate. You got to call. Here's the 800 number. Call down to the office full of white people in there and tell them you want to put black books on the shelves in Compton. It don't work that way. They got to put that book will have to go in all the grocery stores. They're going to lie and tell you. They're going to say, oh, no, well, we good on that. We already got something on that. We don't sell stuff like that. Or we already got somebody we got exclusive distribution with someone else, so we can't sell stuff like that. Or we got to get it approved and see if we can get it in there. But yet, when I go to the black grocery store, hey, can you put my black book on the shelves? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you a wholesale. If you buy 100 or less, 100 or more, I'll give it to you for this price, you know, so that you guys can sell them and it can help my community because you are in the black neighborhood. They're going to be like, done. Let's take them. We've been looking for somebody like you. We've been looking for a black person to help with black problems. Y'all hear what I just said? So done. Now, the brother already is out. I feel like now I'm promoting him doing a We Buy Black commercial. But I can do that because I don't mind helping black people. I love my people because the brother helped me. We all help each other. And that's what I love about black business ownership. So I looked at the brother on Instagram the other day, and he was in the grocery store saying, hey, y'all, we need y'all to make this. We're going to need some people to make that because we already got aligned people who make all these different things, but we still need people to make this kind of stuff and that kind of stuff. Man, I'd be sitting there with a tear almost running down my eyes because I'm thinking to myself, man, if I wasn't a public speaker right now, if I wasn't traveling the country speaking and coaching and training, man, I'd be trying to figure out how to make a black-owned toothpaste, which they already got those. I'd be trying to make some kind of black products because I know he's gonna sell them, and the bigger he get, the more he gonna buy. So I want to make sure I own a lot of black-owned products that's gonna be sold on the shelves. So that's what I've been talking to about my coaching clients, telling them y'all got to start making black products because when this brother get this grocery store open, he's saying he want to have it by the end of the year before we go back to the We Buy Black Conference Part 2. Man, I'm like, I got to get cracking. I want to have some products on the shelves. I want to be up in there. Y'all know how much grocery stores make in a weekend? You be like, this is a Super Bowl weekend. Grocery stores gonna make about $2 or $3 million in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta understand the game of numbers. This is why they don't want black people having grocery stores. So anyway, getting back to the point. Solutions. I'll be in Los Angeles, California this Friday at the Afiba Center. You can go to facebook.com to my Facebook page on the Thomas TJ Lofton and register for my event. It's $30 at the door. Y'all missed the early bird special. That changed from $25 on the first to $30 because we like to get, like to know how many people coming. So the seating is limited in there. I think I'm only going to be able to get 50 people in there. So please register now while you can. But if you like to do a webinar online, I'm trying this webinar platform out some more for the week for the monetizing gentrification. So March 14th, I will be giving a presentation entitled Monetizing Gentrification on a webinar, through a webinar. So that is currently being advertised on my Instagram. No, not my Instagram, but my LinkedIn page, as well as my Facebook page. You will see Zoom. Go to the one that says Zoom on my page, and you will be able to turn around and buy it. Register for it. It's $49 online, and that's going to be an amazing one. Tiffany, how you doing? Congratulations on the baby. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that's the right Tiffany, by the way. So the webinars is going to be profound, family. I did the webinars because I got such a great outcome for the book. I've been shipping the book all over the country. The tour been amazing. That's why I went to 15 states. I didn't plan on going to 15 states, but when I got out of town, so many people was calling me saying, man, we need you up here in New York. We need you up here in Philly. We need you to come back to Atlanta again because it's really going down out there. Well, you was in Atlanta the last time, but you didn't come out here and see what's going on in this part of Georgia. And I had to go right back to Georgia. I was in Georgia 12 times last year in 2018. It was crazy. Multiple times, 2 and 3 weeks. Y'all know, if y'all been following me, y'all seen what's going on. But I hadn't, 2018 flew by for me, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but it was like I blinked my eye in 2018, it was gone. Now, I had intentions on hitting up Chicago. I had intentions on going to Detroit, but I kept getting people calling me saying, man, it's real important that you come up here and see what's going on in North Carolina. You need to meet this black billionaire. He's getting older, TJ, and we want you to meet him before he passes. Or you need to come out here to South Carolina because it's, the blacks got these islands and the blacks got this and the blacks got a lot of land, but they losing it. So you need to come out here ASAP. We're going to make sure you get out here. I'm just like, man, this is crazy, y'all. So where I thought I was going to be able to hit one state, one at a time and just boom, 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 boom. Every month I hit 3 or 4 states. I was going to states, y'all, and I had to stay 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I was in Atlanta 3 weeks on most times, a month. I was in California in 2018, probably all of 30 days added up, 45 days maybe maximum, because there was so much going on around the country, family. So needless to say, I put together a kick-ass, excuse my language, presentation with solutions that's talking about what's going on around America, the money that's being made, things that we can do. Because you got a lot of people who talking about retiring and moving away, and thinking it's affordable back in Indiana, hypothetically speaking. It's affordable in Atlanta. So when I retire or when my daughter graduate, I'm gonna move back to Atlanta and buy me a cheap house. If you ain't trying to make moves like that now, you may not make them. So that's why I'm doing the presentation, family, and we're gonna talk about a lot of these things now. What do I like about on the webinars? The webinar is going to be an hour and a half, but I'm able to go longer. So, for example, when I go to an event and I give an event out here locally, I rent an area and I'll be speaking for an hour and a half, and then I like to do 30-minute Q&A or whatever. You know, you blink your eye and that time flew by and it's like, okay, it's time to go now. They want me up out of here because I only rented the place for 2 hours, hypothetically speaking, and now they want us out. So what I like about the webinar, it broadens the reach. I talk to a lot more people, and if I need to extend it and stay on there for 3 or 4 hours because people got questions, I can. So I think that's more effective, which people been telling me for a long time. Do the webinar, TJ, do the webinar. So family, the webinars are here. Please go onto my page and sign up because it's going to be limited. I don't want to start off with 200 people. I want to start off where I can control it and get to people, answer their questions. I want people to be able to talk and tell me what's going on in these little cities and these states and these countries that I ain't never heard of before. Like last year, it was a lot of places I went to that I didn't even know existed. I'm like, man, y'all got black people out there? They like, yeah, we dominate numbers out there. I'm like, I had no clue. I had no idea. They said TJ and they dogging them out there. So they need this information you talking about. You need to be out there. So come on to the webinars, family, sign up, register, and let's talk about it, y'all. Let's go in so I can drop these solutions and I'm gonna give up some game. Y'all know I be just talking and generalizing and hypothetically speaking on Facebook because this is not a paid platform and I don't need people hearing my information for free and they go off and make all kind of money off of the stuff that I talk about. So for the webinars, y'all know I give it up. Leah, how you doing, fam? Webinars, I give it up. So y'all go on and tune in. Enough said. How you doing? Who else on YouTube? Say hi. Tell me where you at, YouTube, city and state, country or something. Let me know. Y'all share this video. If you're on YouTube, please click subscribe. Please click subscribe on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, please click share. Please click follow, like. Go to my personal page, my public figure page on Facebook, and please click subscribe. Please click follow. I got a lot of people, and please share these videos in y'all groups. I got a lot of people who be calling me and saying my friend just shared it, and I didn't know that you knew what you knew. I've been trying to get somebody to come to Maryland for a long time, and I didn't even know you was out here. If I would have known, I would have went. But here's the problem. Now I'm sitting there like, wow, wow. But this is what you do. Here's a solution. Here's a strategy, and that's what we need, family. The people who got the real information, just like a brother tagged me yesterday, say, TJ, you need to know this sister right here. And I was like, wow, I appreciate that. Whenever somebody tags me and said, TJ, you need to know this person right here. The brother was from the Hispanic community. Like, TJ, that's going on out here too. We need your help too. And I was like, okay. It's like, man, we all need to work together, family, so that we can all have homes and affordable living, because they wiping neighborhoods out across the country. They're wiping black and brown neighborhoods out across the country. So when they get rid of the blacks, they coming for the browns. They messing with the browns too. So anyway, family, y'all go ahead to Zoom on my page, Monetizing Gentrification on Facebook. You will see the Zoom logo and you'll see Monetizing Gentrification, and you can register for that and go ahead and sign up for my presentation, fam. And it's only $49, I believe. And I'm gonna give it up, y'all. I'm gonna give it up. So it's only gonna be an hour and a half. But if they keep talking, family, asking questions, I'm gonna be right there answering them as much as I can because I'll be sitting in the comfort of my own home. I won't be under pressure with somebody trying to get me up out of they rented location. What's up, Jasir? I'll be right here at the house, sitting in the office in my comfortable chair, relaxing, answering questions. So if I got to sit there for 2 or 3 hours answering questions, helping some people out, I don't have a problem with it. If you want to see me, I can click a button and y'all can see me. Other than that, the questions will be right there. I can bring people in. It's a pretty unique platform. I'm thinking it's pretty slick, you know. So I said we'll mess with it, and you know, like they said, man, it's about helping more people. You know, I've been going state to state because I like to talk to people in person, but they like, you know, my numbers is getting bigger. So it's like, okay, more people are starting to find out that I really got solutions versus he just know about the problem. No, I got solutions because I am very well versed in real estate, fam. So anyway, I'm gonna go and get up out of here, and I appreciate y'all. So if y'all hadn't got the book already, please get the book under thomastjlofton.com, on my Facebook page, on my you can go to my website and get the book. Go to my Facebook page. You can even cash at me if you want under Thomas T.J. Lofton, just straight up money sign Thomas T.J. Lofton, no exclamation points or anything. $31.95. Go to my Facebook page and find that book, and there's a link that you can just basically go to it from there, if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, please register for these webinars. Let me know that y'all want these webinars, fam, because I'm gonna be solving a lot of problems and giving up a lot of game on things that you need to know. So a lot of people think they know what they think they know everything, but then they realize a lot they don't know. So that's communicate, fam. And like me, it's a lot I don't know. That's why I be out of town so long, because I think I'm gonna fly in and drop some knowledge and jump back on the plane. Man, these cats be saying some stuff to me, and I be like, man, let me call the hotel and extend another week because I ain't never heard of nothing like that. And that's deep. I can't leave y'all in a situation like that. So I end up staying out of town for an extra week. That's why I'm like, while I'm back in the house in California, let me go on and try to knock out some stuff. And I want to work on these webinars. So this is for y'all, family. This is for us to turn around and be able to help each other. So y'all go on and register. And what's cool about the webinars, you know, y'all can put this on the TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, I got a TV hanging on my wall right here. I could boom and zoom it up there and be watching it and doing a webinar on the TV and have the family sitting there if you want, you know? Bring in the young people so that they can hear the conversation. Like when I was a 9-year-old child, a young man, I sat in on some high-powered adult conversations, and that's why I'm able to teach today, because them conversations was about real estate and business. So, you know, y'all could have, like y'all have fight parties and all of that. How about you have a monetizing gentrification webinar party hosted with TJ? I'm not gonna trip. Y'all pay the $49 and y'all got 30 people in the room and they all got, you know, they got questions. I don't care. You know, as long as it makes sense, it's things that we need to know about, I'm with it. Let's make this happen, fam. So go ahead and register today, y'all. ThomasTJLofton.com, you know, whichever it is. If y'all want me to come out and speak to your city, your state, your country, reach out to me, family. I'm out. Peace. Anybody got any questions before I get out of here? Y'all know I can talk straight with no problems. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any statements, anything I need to know about? I always forget to tell y'all, if y'all got anything I need to know, say it while I'm talking so I can go back to it and read it. And if you did say something and I missed you, please forgive me because I got all these devices here. All right, fam, I appreciate y'all. Please share these videos into your groups and on your pages for your family. Please click subscribe and like. Thank you, fam. I appreciate y'all.